put pressure on there. The opponent has to put down cannons, so it's not like you lose too much. Because the opponent has to spend money as well. So anyway, Stork's going to put down a couple cannons here again. Again, I like the safe play there, putting down 2 cannons instead of just the 1. This is something that Diggity has ranted about as well. The fact that players, I think it's Diggity, the fact that players will you know, put down that 1 cannon and just try and scrimp and save and get their Nexus down a few seconds earlier by putting down just the 1 cannon. But you know, with Jaedong on the mound, you want to you know, you want to make sure that you're prepared for anything, because Jaedong, as he's shown, is the kind of player that is perfectly fine with massing lings at you if you don't have enough defenses. Stork does need to sorry. Sorry, my toe is like messed up. It's like ingrown toenail or something like that, and I just hit it against my table, so that's why the random ow. Stork does need to get something there to kind of protect those cannons, I believe. Well, maybe not, actually. Actually, maybe not. Oh, look at this! He knows where Jaedong is going, and his probe is there waiting. The drone has to turn around and go back. Oh, man. And he's going to battle. He might battle that drone. He's going to try and keep it from planting down one way or another. So he's just going to run his probe back there. So Stork with masterful... Oh, he's going to battle... He's going to... Oh, the drone down to 3 hits left, but the Zerglings are going to come in. So now Stork just has to run that around. And look at these. He's trying to micro 2 probes at once. But he doesn't micro the other probe. Couple drones turn around for mining just to finish off that probe. Sometimes I do that too. You know, if the opponent's scout is in your mineral line, just surround it real quick, finish it off. It doesn't take too long of mining time to just pop it real quick. Anyway... Jaedong now mining gas. He's got that 3rd base down in the top right. And Stork just now getting his core down. So, you know, they're pretty normal, I guess, actually. And Stork has a really nice door set up. He's got the gateway set up where there's still a little bit of an opening on the right side next to that terrain where he can squeeze his Zealot in there and block and have those 2 cannons defend pretty well. Anyway, Stork has his other probe, is running here. It's going to get picked off by those Zerglings, so Stork no longer has any scouting information. Oh, and he's actually... Maybe there is no gap in that the top right of that gateway, actually, because he's put his Zealot in next to the pylon. So Zerglings, I imagine, could squeeze past that pylon and get in that way. So very good of him to protect that little gap there. Anyway... I'm curious to see what Stork... Okay, his core's up. There's the Stargate. So he's probably going to go for pretty much the same build again. Jaedong going for pretty much the same build again. A little bit less pressure this time. Well, since his Zerglings have been kind of running around and you know, trying to track down Stork's probe, basically. Oh, Zealot almost gets that 3rd hit on that Zergling. Anyway... So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen on this map. We've got that double gas in the top right, which is very, very interesting. Stork needs to kind of do something about... He needs to kind of attack earlier. He can't just sit back in his base with his 2 bases like he did last time, I think. Well, I mean, it could still work. Because, you know, last time he attacked Jaedong's 3rd base and just, you know, kind of hit it pretty early. But I don't know. He needs to be worried, basically, about that double gas getting up in the top right. Because if this goes into a mid-game, then Jaedong won't have 3 gas. He'll have 4 gas. And he'll be able to put out a lot more high-tech units that way. Instead of having lots of Zerglings and some Lurkers, he'll have more Lurkers and some Zerglings. And then, of course, you know, he could go for... It'll make it a lot easier for him to get, you know, a pack of Mutalisks to do some mutabombing or something like that as well. I guess not mutabombing, but like you know, picking off High Templar, stuff like that, or picking off shuttles, Reavers, etc. Whatever Stork goes for. Although he's got the, I believe we've got the Citadel down now. Yeah, Citadel's down, so he's not going for Reaver tech right now. Anyway. Spire's almost up. Stork's got his Corsairs running around, looking for Overlords, looking for something to kill. He's also going to scout. He actually first scouted that top right to see what was going on there, to see what kind of defenses there were, and see how many drones there were. And now he's going to move over here and attack these Overlords. Scourge are morphing right underneath that Corsair's belly, so he's got to be a little bit careful. I'm curious if he's going to, Yeah, Stork's usually really good about that kind of thing. He's got to turn it around. Exactly. There you go. So Stork turns that Corsair around, almost gets that Overlord. Few hits away from killing that Overlord off, but not quite. Anyway, so Stork's going to fall back. Again, it's going to turn into a sort of a longer macro game. Now, Jaedong can't quite make use of that top right, the 2 gas there, until the mid game, because as you can see, he has to set up his defenses first. Otherwise, it'll just get overrun by Zealots or something like that. And there comes the Zealots pushing out now. He's got a squad of 6 Zealots. We don't know exactly where they're going right now. There are some Hydralisks out already. And oh, he's going to go in and he's going to kill off that Overlord. Oh! Sneaks in and gets the last few hits on that Overlord with the Scourge camped outside of his base. And here they go. Speed upgrade has just kicked in and he's going in. Oh, Stork, you can't hit the... Well, actually, there's not a sunken colony there, so he has a chance here of hitting this natural expansion. No, but with the Hydralisk falling back behind there, it's just too bad of a position, so those Zealots are not going to be able to do anything. So Stork not going to win the game early on this time. Actually, unless Jaedong moves out and engages with those Zealots, it looks like he just engaged with those Zealots. He's lost a couple Hydras that way. He's having to run his drones out of the way. Is he going to be able to kill the Hydralisk den? He's attacking the Hydralisk den. Oh my goodness, this is... Oh my... He's going to pick off the den! He picks off the Hydralisk den. Jaedong has been crippled now. All he can build is Zerglings and, well, obviously Mutalisks as well if he wanted to build those, but he doesn't have the gas for those right now. He's got the mineral and gas intake right now just to make Hydralisks, so we could see Stork win a 3rd game here with a ballsy attack at the natural expansion with speed upgraded. I haven't seen if they're +1, but they're probably +1 upgraded Zealots. Just a very simple speed lot +1 rush. Yes, they are +1 upgraded, killing off drones now. The drones blocking for the Hydralisk to be able to kill off those Zealots, but Stork doing the damage necessary, making those Zealots worthwhile, killing off the Hydralisk den, and now if he has a follow-up attack... Oh, Stork losing his Corsair, unfortunately, in the open air there. But anyway, Stork doing some decent damage with that attack and critically killing a few drones as well when the drones came down to help out with the defense, and stopping a lot of mining time there as well. Den already rebuilt. Jaedong probably hit BD in his main and rebuilt that den as soon as he realized what Stork was doing, because he needed to get that den up pretty quick. So so good job on Jaedong's part there. Anyway, Jaedong now has actually put out a lot of Hydralisks. He's got a decent force running around. And Jaedong, again, this is seeming very familiar. It seems like his build on against Flash, sort of. Going for that 4th base very early while he's going for Hive Tech as well. Anyway, so Jaedong is putting out a few Hydralisks. He needs to be a little bit worried about an attack by Stork, though. Stork has a few more gateways going up now. Or they just came up. And yeah, so he could put out a large ground army pretty quickly with those 5 gateways. Although he's probably gonna have to kill off one of his gateways. Uh-oh. Corsair is running around just trying to see what's going on, and critically he sees the army composition that Jaedong has. Corsair finally goes down, but he sees exactly what Jaedong has. He sees this clump of Hydralisks, he sees the Zerglings, he sees that there's no Mutalisks critically. So he knows that there's not going to be a bunch of Mutalisks popping out to kill his High Templar off, in which case he would need to do something else. And there we go. Kills off the pylon instead of the gateway. That's what I was thinking actually would make more sense. Plant down a new pylon in the way. So that he can do that. Anyway, so Stork is going to move out here. He needs to be a little bit careful. You can't lead with the High Templar, buddy. Especially with your Dragoons being stupid behind the lines there. Anyway, so that is really not the best gap, actually. So Jaedong now morphing lurkers in the field as well. Stork is going to need to get some obs out. I don't know if he has a robotic. He probably has a robotics facility by now. Hive going up as well. So we're going to see, if it goes that far, we're going to see some lurker with swarm, which is really pretty decent against Protoss. Not the best, because it's, when you have the Dragoons and what have you have storms can obviously function underneath the swarm. Anyway, but Stork now pushing out with his army. He's got a decent sized army here. He's probably going to follow up again, just like they did with that other game. He's going to follow up this army with Zealots. He's going to pump out a couple rounds of Zealots, because the Zealots can speed up to the army, and there we go. A few Zealots come trailing in behind. So he's just going to mount Zealots. He's going to rally Zealots towards this location, have that meat shield of the Zealots to join up, and Jaedong, being very intelligent here, is intercepting the reinforcements of Stork, so they cannot meet up with his army. Very nicely done. Here comes the big battle here. A few Zealots short. He needs to get a storm off on those Zerglings. Oh, a little bit late. Doesn't really do the damage it needs to. Stork must have been concentrating on that the extra battle there. He's storming the lurkers though, and oh, nice storm kills off a few Zerglings. The Zerglings finally do go down. He's storming everything here. We might see another repeat. Jaedong needs to kill off that observer or something, although it might not. He needs to storm those Zerglings. Tons of Zerglings coming in here. If he might run out of storm, which will be epic. Oh, he does cast another storm, but he's storming the lurkers instead of the Zerglings, and so the Zerglings are actually getting in really close to his Dragoons, but it might not even matter at this point. Here come the Scourge finally picking off those observers, picking off all three of them it looked like. I think he had 3 observers and all 3 of them going down. Now he's got some Archons. The Zealots running in to reinforce there. Nice timing on the Zealots part. He needs those Zealots. He needs those Zealots as a buffer to stop the Zerglings from getting in close. And oh, he Scourges the new observer, stopping Stork from being able to push in. Stork has kind of an advantage right now. He could push in and kill off Jaedong's base, that 4th base, well, 3rd base, I guess, in the top right, but he's short an observer, and so he needs to wait for more obs to come in before he can do anything. That is a lot of Zerglings running around. Not a ton of Zerglings, but a lot of Zerglings. Anyway, Stork with a large army just roaming around the map now. He needs to do a little bit better job protecting his observers, obviously, but he still has definitely a control here, and as soon as he gets an observer in play to deal with those lurkers, he's going to be okay. Here he comes in. He's trying to move in from the side, but some Zerglings coming into flank. Very nice attack by Jaedong. Hopefully his Stork has fallen back a little bit. No, he's pushed through. He's pushing right into the natural expansion, actually. There's no lurkers here. Lurkers trying to come in from the side. Scourger in play to scourge observers. There's the observer, but there's no Overlord to spot the observer, so he needs to be a little bit careful, and there's the observer is going to enable him to just completely own these lurkers. The lurkers going down to Dragoon and Zealot and Archon fire, and Jaedong GG's his natural expansion breached by a ballsy attack by Stork. Oh my gosh, Stork is up 2-1, ladies and gentlemen. Stork has taken the 3rd game and gained a match point situation. Wow. Oh man, Stork just playing brilliantly. Beautiful StarCraft. Oh my gosh, and Stork keeping his record, his winning record career against Jaedong here. Wow, absolutely amazing. Again, I'm going to have to imitate Stork. Excuse me, gotta drink water. Again, just doing a marathon casting session here, although I mean, in the Fantasy versus Flash series, some of the games were as long as this entire series, so well, actually, none of them were that long, but sometimes you see TVTs that are over an hour, and this series is over an hour. Anyway, so we're moving on to Game 4 already. This has been a crazy, crazy series. Absolutely insane. Wow, and I cannot believe, I mean, I was hoping for it, and I knew it was possible. I knew it was, you know, very feasible for Stork to be ahead 2-1 here, but I can't say I quite expected it, because usually, even when I think Stork's going to do just fine, Jaedong stomps on him anyways, and I'm like, come on, really? But Jaedong is just, you know, been caught off guard on a few instances here. Stork doing a really, really good job here. He's just, you know, he's been doing this thing early, same build basically every game. Well, game 1 doesn't count. Same build every game where, you know, he goes for an early Zealot attack, tries to do a little bit of damage that way. Gets some gateways and an extra base in the meantime, builds up a new massive army, and then just goes in for the kill.